Hi, Ruthie. Ruthie!
Come on! You get out of my buckboard, Wyatt Earp.
Hey, Ruthie, what's gotten into you? I go out of town for a week and I come home to a greeting like this?
It's all you deserve.
Well, Ruthie, you're supposed to be my future sister-in-law.
Oh, no, I'm not. You Earps are all alike.
What do you mean? What's happened?
Ask your brother, or any other of the gamblers down at the Alhambra. They could tell you.
Morgan's a gambler?
Maybe I'm not good enough for the Earps anymore. Well, let him keep his big diamond ring. Now, would you get out of my buckboard?
Oh, wait a minute. Morgan's got a diamond ring?
Yes. Now get down.
Anything to oblige a lady. I'm sorry, I don't understand any of this, Ruthie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, go arrest somebody, you marshal. Give.
Tombstone in the 1880s was a city where gambling flourished and fortunes were won and lost on the turn of a card. While all this was legal, there were times when a gambler became a problem for Marshal Wyatt Earp. Oh, hi, Virgil. Didn't expect to find you down here.
Well, I'm here. What's this thing?
Oh, I'm collecting money for the schools. We put a percentage of our fines in it.
I've done very well. Strikes me you're attending to everything but your job.
I was in Nogales on business. Say, what's gotten into everybody?
Well, if you'd paid him a decent wage, you'd never have gotten into this.
Who? What are you talking about?
Our brother Morgan. He's turned to gambling.
Oh, come on, Virgil. Everybody in Tombstone gambles a little once in a while.
He's not gambling a little, he's gambling a lot. He's broken that yellow-haired Ruthie's heart, poor thing.
How much has he lost?
Well, that's the worst of it. He hasn't lost, he's won.
How much?
$10,000, a diamond ring.
$10,000?
Yeah. Now his head's even bigger than his bankroll. Well, wait till you see him. It's impossible.
What started all this?
I don't know. I just got in yesterday. I heard a tin horn in Prescott say the biggest gambler in the West was a fellow in Tombstone named Morgan Earp. So I got on the next stage and came down here. And you were gallivanting down around the border.
I was not gallivanting around... Oh, come on, forget it. Let's go talk to Doc Holliday. He'll know about this if anybody will. Doc, what's this about Morgan gambling? What side of it?
I'm afraid I did.
I thought so.
Well, let him tell it, will you?
Well, last Monday, the day you went jingling off to the border, I tossed a coin with Morgan for a drink, and he won. Then we tossed for $1, and he won. Then we tossed for $5, and he won. Then he took the 10, he threw it on the faro layout, and he won. Then he sat down into the poker game.
And they won.
That's right, and he quit with $1,000. Since then, he's played poker every night, and every night he's won. He's about run out of competition.
Where is he now?
Probably over at his tailor. He buys a new suit every day.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Well, Virgil, I see you're still in town.
Uh-huh.
How are things on the border, Wyatt?
Oh, fine, fine. Say, what's that smell?
Nice, isn't it?
Oh, lovely.
That's cologne water. Imported from Europe by way of St. Louis. I saw the bottle.
Sort of kills the smell of horses.
What's the matter with horses?
Nothing, I suppose. For cattlemen marshals. I'll buy you some, Wyatt.
Well, thanks a lot.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm afraid that I can't afford to be your deputy any longer.
Why not?
My time's too valuable. You see, eventually I'm going to build a casino of my own here. With a big sign out in front. Earp's Monte Carlo.
That seems logical.
Or maybe, the Monte Carlo. Morgan Earp, proprietor. But I figure I'll need a $50,000 stake for that. So right now, I'm going up the street to the Oriental and do a little gambling. Sorry to leave you short-handed, Wyatt, but you can get somebody else. Oh! Forgive my rudeness. Can I buy any of you a drink?
A drink? Why, yes, sure.
Bartender, the best for everybody. Ice water for the marshal.
What are you going to do about Ruthie?
Nothing.
Why not?
Well, we sort of broke it off. She's too nice a girl to be tied up with a gambler. Why don't you go call on her, Wyatt? She's a mighty pretty girl when she's dressed up.
Yeah, it's a funny thing what a little luck will do to a man, isn't it? Morgan, you act as if you can't lose. But those gamblers over at the Oriental are going to pluck you like a Thanksgiving turkey.
I appreciate that, Wyatt. In fact, I even thank you.
For what?
For trying to big brother me. It used to make me mad, remember?
Wait a minute, Morg. How much money are you taking to the Oriental?
$10,000?
Oh, put it up. I'll save you the trip.
Virgil, you haven't got $10,000.
You got 1,000 head of cattle. You want them to learn a lesson, don't you?
Yeah, but...
All right, then. Give me a pencil and a piece of paper.
You mean you want to gamble with me?
That's what I mean.
You're being a fool, Verge.
Verge, I wouldn't want to take your cattle. I wouldn't feel right.
Doc, I need a deck of cards.
Give the gentleman a deck of cards. I think a great tragedy is about to occur here.
10,000 cash.
10,000 in cows.
Virgil, don't.
Stay out of this, Wyatt. Sudden death? High card. One cut, winner take all.
One cut, winner takes all. Shuffle.
Go ahead. Cut.
Virgil, it's my opinion that these winning streaks have something to do with the moon. Just what, I don't know.
Never mind the moon. This is a family affair. All right, little brother. Top that. King of spades.
That's a pretty fair country card, Verge.
Only 4 higher.
Well, go on, Morgan. Cut.
I moved into the governor's suite at the hotel in case you want me, Wyatt. Just round up those cows, Verge. I'll send for them.
The ace of spades.
Advice unheeded is wisdom rejected. In other words, never tangle with a winning streak.
Well, I'll tangle with it. Forward, Morg. You're not going anywhere until I talk to you.
There's nothing to talk about. Let go of my new sleeve, Wyatt.
How do you think Virgil's wife is going to feel when she hears about this? And Ruthie, are you going out there and present that ring to her? But first you go inside and give Virgil back his IOU. I said get inside there.
All right, Wyatt. You asked for it.
Hold it, Morgan. We're not going to fight in public.
I'll show you. It's a Thanksgiving turkey.
Now that's enough. Now, get on that horse and get out of here.
Let's go on over to my office.
Well, you should never call him a Thanksgiving turkey.
Let him gamble, Wyatt. His streak can't last forever.
I don't care about his gambling. I just care about that fat head he's got.
There's no living with him anymore.
Not much you can do when he keeps on winning.
I think he's going to start losing.
Well, how?
Wyatt, didn't you do a favor once for a tin-horn gambler by the name of Ace Hudson?
Yeah, I saved his life, if that's what you mean.
Ace Hudson is the best card mechanic west of the Mississippi. He could give Morgan a good lesson real fast.
But he's up in Dodge.
He owes you a big favor. Send for him. Telegram.
Ace Hudson. Mighty tricky fella, Ace.
Why not, Wyatt? We've got to break that winning streak somehow.
All right, I'll do it. Anything, as long as we can shrink the size of Morgan's head.
I'll be right back down.
Right. Is my brother Morgan in?
Yes, Marshal.
Thank you.
Don't go up, Marshal. I'm sorry, but Mr. Earp left orders that he's not to be disturbed.
He won't mind.
Oh, but, sir, he's still asleep.
At 12:30?
Yes, sir. He's awakened at 1 o'clock, after which he has his breakfast tray.
You mean that my brother has breakfast in bed?
Yes, sir. Yes. Now today, he'll have 3 eggs over gently with a rasher of bacon. French toast with sage blossom honey.
Sage blossom honey.
Sage blossom honey. And a pot of New Orleans coffee.
Of course. Well, he's really living high on the hog, isn't he?
Oh, he has excellent taste. And then after breakfast, he has his bath and then comes down for a shave and a trim in the barber shop.
Well, I'll try and catch him between hot towels.
Oh, Wyatt. Very nice accommodations.
Glad you like them. Look, there's been a slight change of plans. My little brother hasn't had his French toast yet. Now, this will give you time to organize your game.
Wyatt, I don't feel exactly right about this.
Now, this is strictly business. You get 10% of whatever you take from him. I don't care how you take it. He's got to learn a lesson. A deal?
After what you did for me? You know, Barbara, I kind of like this little hotel. I may buy it. What do you want?
I wanted to see you, but I didn't want to interrupt your breakfast.
See me about what?
You know those cattle you won from Virgil last night? Well, he was so worried about losing them, he went back to the Alhambra to try and get even.
How, poker?
Yeah, it was a massacre.
How much?
Everything? Wiped out.
Virgil's no gambler. And you let him do it?
I even backed his play. I'm clean, too.
Hello, Marshal. I'm surprised you've got the price of a haircut.
I don't.
I meant to ask you last night, what kind of a house has that Prescott Ranch got on it?
Fair. Comfortable.
Good. Who's living in it?
Virgil, his wife, Allie, their family.
How soon can they get out?
Get out? Why should they get out?
Well, Morgan, you might as well know. We not only lost the herd, we lost the whole ranch.
You what?
To Mr. Hudson there. Honest Ace Hudson, just in from Dodge. Mr. Hudson, this is my brother, Morgan.
Hi, Earp. I'll be up in a few days to check that property.
Wait a minute. You mean he's going to live in Virgil and Allie's house?
If I don't tear it down and build a good one.
Oh, no, you're not. Allie stays right where she is.
Keep the change.
Where is this game of yours?
Don't go up against him, Morgan.
You stay out of this.
Do I understand that you'd like to play a little poker?
I'd like to play a lot of poker.
Anytime, sir. My room is 223, right upstairs.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, letting Virgil lose Allie's house. And she just planted all those rose bushes.
It's a black day.
Where's Virgil now?
Lying in my bed, just lying there with his face against the wall.
Don't worry about it. I'll win this place back.
Give me a haircut, huh?
One.
One. Pass me.
I take 2. $200. Two. And I'll raise you 3. Let's see him. All black.
Ace did it.
Poor kid looks like he's been poleaxed.
You wait here. Morgan,
Yeah, what?
you better sit down. You lost, huh?
Everything. I can't believe it.
Even your diamond ring?
Even my ring. I should have given it to Ruthie.
Like I said, no winning streak lasts forever.
Well, you're some gambler. I hope you learned your lesson.
Hudson was cheating you, Morgan. You didn't even know it. I'm glad to see you finally lost some of that hot air.
Cheating me?
Of course. You're an amateur, my boy. Let me give you a piece of advice. Never trust a gambler, including me.
Ace is a friend of mine. I'll go get your money back.
Cheating me? You didn't lose your ranch?
Just a trick.
He's gonna big brother me just once too often. And you let him.
Just calm down, little brother. Tell him if we could shoot that head of yours back to everyday size.
You know, you're as bad as he is. Worse.
Look at it this way, Morgan. It's a very lucky gambler who can lose his roll and get it back.
Come in. Hello, Wyatt.
Well, you really gave the kid a lesson, Ace. $10,000 in cash, a diamond ring, 10,000 in cattle, all within an hour. Pretty good score.
Yes, the young fella did have a bad string of luck. No doubt about it.
Well, shall we settle it?
Oh, what are you talking about, Wyatt?
Oh, a deal. You get 10% of the winnings.
What deal's that, Wyatt?
You got a mighty short memory, haven't you, Ace?
My suggestion is that you let go of me, Wyatt. There are 245s pointed at your back.
Something must have happened to him. He's been up there too long.
It's been 20 minutes. I'm going up.
Me too.
Just knock it down.
These are Wyatt's guns.
No, sir, Marshal. They didn't rent horses. They bought them. Left town about a half hour ago.
They say which way they were heading?
Yeah, Dodge City.
Then they're probably really headed for the border.
No, he wants us to think they're heading for the border, but he's actually heading for Dodge City, right, Wyatt?
No, he's not that smart. If he was, he wouldn't double-cross me in the first place. Now, we'll go for the border. Take the hill trail. It's rougher, but it's miles shorter than the way they'll go. Thanks, Mr. Ross.
Thank you, Marshal. Glad to be of service.
Let's go get him.
Oh, there they are!
watching my ring.
This is my couch.
I made a contract with Mr. Hudson here, Morgan. You owe him 10% of what he won from you.
What?
I figure that to be about $2,500.
I've always admired honor, but this is ridiculous.
I made a deal. Pay him.
That's mighty handsome of you, Wyatt.
Well, I always figured handsome is as handsome does.
What do you mean?
Well, when you went out that window, you jumped your hotel bill. That's a very serious offense in Tombstone, Mr. Hudson. The fine for that's $2,500. I want you to know how much the children appreciate your contribution to the school fund. Mr. Hudson, you go pay your hotel bill and catch the first stage out of town.
And it leaves in precisely 5 minutes. Come on, move.
You want that back?
Yes, sir.
I'll flip you for it.
Not me. I might lose.
There.
Wasn't that a shot?
Yes. For a while it was so quiet around here, I thought something was wrong.
Think we ought to see what's going on?
It's Wyatt Earp's shop. Besides, I just about got this game won. Your play. Just what I wanted.
What can I do for you? What is it, mister?
I'm Billy Bucket Incorporated. I've just been robbed of $50,000 in gold. And I've been murdered.
Wyatt Earp, Marshal of Tombstone, Arizona, during the turbulent 1880s, daily faced the problem of violence growing out of human greed for gold and silver. He often declared that for sheer fantastic ruthlessness, no crime ever matched the one involving the celebrated Billy Bucket Incorporated. Well, how's Billy Bucket Incorporated today?
Better than last night, but he's still feverish.
Keeps yammering about $50,000 in gold.
Tell him I died game and give me a fine funeral.
It looks like he's going to be on my hands for a long time. Can't you move him over to your hospital, Doc?
Not enough room. He's better off here.
You can be a nice fellow for a while.
What makes him so sick? You said the wound wasn't nothing, just a crease in his scalp.
Well, lead poisoning isn't the only thing that makes a man sick.
I hear the rustle of black wings. And I want a fine funeral.
What'd you find out about him, Wyatt?
Just a desert rat. Came through here about 6 months ago. Claimed he knew about a lost gold mine someplace or other.
$50,000. I was robbed. I was robbed.
I think we better let the old boy alone.
You know, I got a hunch that Mr. Billy Bucket isn't as delirious as he makes out.
And what makes you think that?
Well, if he had struck gold anywhere around here, everybody in Arizona would know about it. You can't keep things like that a secret.
Do you have to be a lawman every minute of the day, Wyatt?
Well, now, that's my job. Besides, I think he's plain lying.
I say the man's sick, and I'm the doctor.
Well, even if you ain't a doctor, I think you're right. Something mighty peculiar about that shooting.
Tallest story I ever heard.
Mr. Rickabaugh?
I'm Rickabaugh.
I read in the paper that you're sheltering Billy Bucket. Would you mind if I talked to him?
What do you want to talk to him about?
This is Marshal Earp and Deputy Gibbs.
Well, how do you do? I'm Paul Scott of the Bank of Tucson. Billy used to work for me. Sort of swept out the place. I thought perhaps I could help him.
Go ahead.
This way.
Thanks.
Well, old Billy Bucket's got important friends. Banker, no less.
Billy, it's It's Mr. Scott.
$50,000. 50,000. They robbed me.
Tell me, Billy. Who was it?
Bury me deep and give me a fine funeral.
Who was it?
Yes. Jack Morrow.
Jack Morrow. Did he do it?
50,000 dineros.
Did he do it?
It sure do beat all what some people will do for gold.
You sure you don't want anything else, Wyatt?
Oh, thanks, John.
Where can I find the owner of this place?
That's me.
I want to see Billy Bucket, the old boy that got shot last night.
What do you want to see him about?
Who are you?
I'm Marshall here, and I asked you a question.
Sorry, Marshal. Name's Morrow, Jack Morrow from Yuma. Billy's a friend of mine. He ain't gonna die, is he?
I doubt it. Go on in. That door. Morrow, I want a word with you.
You know where to find me. Billy. Billy, wake up. It's me, Jack Morrow.
$50,000.
Who took it?
Where's Scott?
What about him?
Oh, it do beat all what some people do for gold.
Billy. Billy!
Billy Bucket case baffles Wyatt Earp. Gold and gunman still missing.
Well, it seems like Dameron ain't never gonna stop riding you in that newspaper of his, Wyatt.
Well, we've made Mr. Dameron eat his words before. I think it's time that Billy Bucket and I had a little heart-to-heart talk.
Oh, hiya, Wyatt.
Morning. Any more visitors?
Who?
Trying to poison me, huh? Get out of here! Get out of here, I told you!
Hey, what's the ruckus?
All my life I wanted breakfast in bed, and now I got it. So the sidewinder brings me food. A whole mess of food.
So what's wrong with that?
Whiskey is what I want. Lots of whiskey. And a great big steak. You still here, huh? Get out of here!
Now, you calm down, old-timer. This isn't a hotel.
It ain't, huh? And where am I?
This is the back room of my saloon. My name's Rickabaugh, and this is Marshall Earp.
Marshal Earp? Marshal, you're just a fellow I want to see. I was robbed of $50,000.
You keep on saying that. How are you carrying the $50,000, Billy?
In cash. $50 gold pieces.
Now, $50,000 and $50 gold pieces are way more than you would, Billy.
You must have had an awfully big poke.
Oh, I didn't carry no poke, you fool. It was in a pack on Jenny, my burro. Oh, but now it's all gone. And Billy Bucket Incorporated's gone busted.
What do you mean, incorporated?
That's me. I'm a corporation. People own stock in the gold I dug up.
Well, how did you manage digging up $50,000 worth of gold and not have everybody in Arizona know about it?
I dug it up in Mesa, Durango, across the border in Mexico.
Well, I guess that answers one of your questions, Wyatt.
Yeah, well, I have another. What kind of a claim yields $50 gold pieces, Billy?
Oh, now don't turn stupid on me, Marshal. I dug up nuggets. Then I changed it for $50 gold pieces at the bank in Tucson.
Who are your stockholders?
The only ones that believe this old desert rat when I come through here with a map showing where the gold was. Yeah, they grub stake me. Each one of us owns 25%.
Jack Morrow? Paul Scott?
Yeah, that's right.
Who's the other?
Well, here she comes now. Marshal, I want you to meet the widow Doan.
I believe I know Mrs. Doan.
I just read about it in the newspaper. Is it bad, Billy?
$50,000 they robbed me.
Would you mind leaving us alone, Marshal?
I couldn't leave Billy in more charming hands.
Who robbed you, Billy?
I did what I promised. I found gold.
Who stole it from you?
Jack Morrow. Go see him. Get it back. But don't tell him, Marshal. I don't trust him.
Well, good evening.
May I come in?
What brings you here?
You didn't seem to care for the saloon. I thought we might be able to continue our conversation in more pleasant surroundings.
I have nothing further to say to you, Marshal Earp. Will you please leave?
Why can't I join the others?
What others?
Let's make it 5, shall we?
A widow lady has to make a living. Boys, we've got an added starter, Marshal Earp.
Sorry, gentlemen, the game's over. I have some business with Mrs. Doan. I said the game is over.
How'd you find out about all this?
Well, Doc Holliday told me some time ago you were running a little game, just to kind of make ends meet. I didn't think it was any of my business at the time.
No? What changed your mind?
Just a hunch. King of spades. Deuce of diamonds. Jack of hearts. 10 of spades.
Seems to me you know a little bit too much about marked cards to be strictly on the level yourself, Marshal.
Well, I make it my business to keep informed. So you did need money. Enough to cheat at cards.
Well, not enough to try to kill Billy, if that's what you're getting at.
I can't figure out why anybody should want to kill him.
Well, $50,000, of course.
How'd you know he had $50,000?
I just know. He said...
What'd he say?
He said Jack Morrow robbed him.
Why don't you tell me that? Where can I find Jack Morrow?
He's here in a warehouse in town. I'll show you.
Just tell me.
Oh, no. If he's got the money, I want my share. You know something, Marshal? Billy Bucket doesn't trust you.
Now, you know something? I don't trust Billy Bucket either. Now, let's go find Mr. Morrow.
Hanged, you say? Suicide?
Well, that's the way somebody wanted it to look. But he's hit in the head so hard, he must have been half dead before they strung him up.
Now, why would anyone want to do that to poor Jack Morrow?
Maybe somebody found Jack Morrow there with a load of gold and took it away from him.
But what makes you think old Jack stole the money?
Wait a minute. Didn't you tell Mrs. Doan that Jack robbed you?
I did? I don't remember.
What do you remember?
Well, I just remember walking along the street with my brother Jenny, and from the other side of the street was a shot. Kerpow!
Are you sure you were robbed, Billy?
That's the only thing I am sure of.
Who was it exchanged minute coins for your gold?
Mr. Scott, the Tucson banker. Matter of fact, he rode into Tombstone with me last night.
And he's the only one that knew about your gold.
Yeah, sure was. Oh, I do beat all what some people do for gold. Marshal, I hear the rustling of black wings. All I want is a fine funeral.
If you're lying to me, Billy, you just might get one.
Oh, Marshal, why would I be lying?
Yes, Marshal, I made that transaction, and I did ride in town with Billy Bucket. Now, what's wrong with that?
As far as I know, Mr. Scott, you're the only one of the partners that actually knew that Billy struck gold.
And your deduction is that I shot Billy in the alley and then made off with a burro load of gold pieces?
Well, that's my general line of thinking.
There's only one flaw in your thinking, Marshal. You see, I wasn't the only one that knew that Billy had struck it rich. He had notified us all by letter. Me, Jack Morrow, and the widow Doan.
That doesn't clear you, does it?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Billy wanted the division of his bonanza to be the occasion for a celebration. He'd written ahead to reserve a banquet room at the American Hotel. The partners were all to meet him there for a champagne supper.
And?
I was there.
And who else?
Jack Morrow was there. You see, Marshal, Jack and I furnish perfect alibis for one another.
And Jack Morrow is dead, so that still doesn't clear you. Mrs. Doan didn't show up that night?
No. Well, neither did Billy, of course. Jack and I waited for about an hour, and then we left.
What time?
Between 10 and 11 o'clock. That's when Billy was shot and robbed.
All right, that's all for now, Mr. Scott. Just don't leave Tombstone yet.
Oh, whatever you say, Marshal. Oh, give my regards to the widow Doan. She's mighty attractive, isn't she?
Yes, isn't she?
You be careful of her.
Well, what'd you find out?
Well, I checked with the hotel manager, and Scott was there at the time that Billy was shot, and so was Jack Morrow.
What about the widow Doan? Where was she?
Home. I checked with her neighbors. Widow lady sometimes gets lonesome, you know.
Yeah.
Let's say that Billy's three partners were far away from the spot where he was shot.
Well, any one of them could have had an accomplice.
Well, that's the fifth ace. I'm gonna go inside and find out what cards Billy's holding.
Howdy, Marshal.
Howdy, Billy. How do you feel today?
Oh, mighty poorly. Doc says I get the graveyard call.
Well, that's funny. I just talked to Doc an hour ago, and he said you were well enough to get up and move about.
You gonna believe that old croaker? Believe me.
Mr. Scott said that you were planning on throwing a great big champagne party for all the stockholders that night. You remember that?
No, I don't recollect, but it sounds like me. You get $1, spend 90 cents. Live high, wide, and handsome. But save enough for a fine funeral, says I.
Yes, I've often heard you say that.
A fine funeral shows you ain't lived in vain. Doggone. Them powder burns, it's like fire.
Powder burns? I thought I heard you say that you were shot from across the street.
Did I say that? What's it showing on now, Marshal?
How could you get powder burns from across the street, Billy?
Well, no. How can a dying man tell just how he was killed?
You know, I think you're the biggest liar I ever knew.
Wyatt, would you come out here, please?
What is it?
This note was slipped under my door.
The gold is in the warehouse. If you want to make a deal, be there at 10 o'clock.
And no signature.
Do you think it's some sort of a trap?
Whoever took that money wouldn't tell you that, would he? You can have a look around that warehouse.
Well, I'm going with you.
You're determined not to miss a chance of finding that gold, aren't you?
Want me to go along with you?
No, you stay here. Don't let anybody in or out of Billy's room. That includes Billy.
Hello? Hello? It's me, Hetty. Hetty Doan.
Keep talking to him. I'll try and get around back.
What are you shooting at me for?
You'll never get it. I've already killed once for it.
Did you get a note too, Scott?
It said that gold was in here, in the Wells Fargo box.
Somebody wanted you to do just what you tried to do. Kill Mrs. Doan. Did you kill Morrow?
Billy Bucket told me Jack Morrow robbed him. I accused Morrow. We fought.
You know who shot you?
You did.
No, somebody else was here.
What?
We can't help him now. Why don't we look for that Wells Fargo box?
You won't find anything like that here. I'm convinced that Billy Bucket wrote both those notes to you and Scott.
What would he do that for?
It's been his plan all along. To turn his greedy partners against one another, kill each other off. He killed Scott just to make sure. You'd have been next if I hadn't been here.
Well, somebody shot Billy. Who did that?
He gave me the answer to that tonight. He complained of powder burns.
What do you mean?
I mean, he creased his own skull with his own gun to make it look like a robbery.
I don't believe it. He's too sick.
What?
Over here.
Hey, what? Billy Bucket got away. Went out the window.
Take care of him. Howdy, Billy.
Well, howdy, son.
Where you heading?
Oh, just thought I'd go out and find me another stake.
Isn't $50,000 enough, Billy?
But I was robbed, Marshal, and shot too. Now, you saw me?
I also saw Scott die last night. You got in that warehouse and killed him, didn't you?
It do beat all what some people do for gold, don't it?
Yeah, it do beat all.
What put you on to me, Marshal?
Well, like I always say, you give a monkey a tree, sooner or later he'll climb high enough to show the rings on his tail.
You'll go far, Marshal. You got brains. Beautiful, ain't you? Yeah. Would you like some, son? Maybe a whole handful of them?
You trying to bribe me, Billy?
Sure, I'm trying to bribe you.
I have to take you back, Billy.
What's going to become of all this beautiful, shiny stuff?
I imagine the estates of Morrow and Scott will get their share, and so will the widow Dome. You can use yours to get a good lawyer.
I worked too hard to find this gold. I frittered away no lawyer. All my life I dreamed of having breakfast in bed. I got that, and the other thing is...
I know. The finest funeral that money can buy. There'll be enough for that, Billy. I'll see to it.
Thank you, son. You got a big heart. Come on, Jen. Marshal says we gotta go back.
Where's Pop at?
Reloading cartridges inside.
So I drawed my guns and I shot him down.
Papa? You heard about Earp?
Heard what?
He buffaloed Frank and Tom McLowry. Threw him in jail.
Well, now.
Well, ain't you gonna do nothing?
Such as?
Well, ride into Tombstone with our boys. Shoot up the place. Hang Wyatt Earp.
Whoa, now. You talk plumb foolish, Billy. Nobody's got men enough to tree Tombstone anymore. Even us Clantons. You want we should fight 3,000 miners? All of them vigilantes and Wyatt Earp?
Papa, the McLowrys ride with us. Now, they're gonna expect you to get them out.
No, they won't.
How come they won't, Papa?
'Cause Tom and Frank is getting too big-headed, that's why. I asked them to help us move a herd of cattle away from that Mexican border so the Mexicans wouldn't steal them back, but no, they was too busy playing around trying to bushwhack Earp. Well, they got caught. Them John laws in Tombstone will keep. Now, you stop worrying about the McLowrys. With Johnny being working for me, what danger are they in? So I drawed my guns and I shot him twice. Time you growed up, son. Why are you so worried about Earp anyhow?
I got a personal score to settle with Earp.
Not yet a while. You hear me? I said not yet a while.
Yes, sir.
To Wyatt Earp in 1881 to rid Tombstone of its rustlers, bandits, and killers because they were so numerous. But the job was made even more impossible by Sheriff John Behan, who allied himself with Wyatt's enemies and thwarted Wyatt wherever he could.
Mr. Phillips. Feed them good and put them to bed early. They had a rough day.
You baby horses almost like shotgun babies as mules.
Your mule ailing again?
No, Roscoe's all right. What? Sheriff Behan has turned them McLowry brothers loose.
Who put up their bail?
Nobody. Behan claims Mr. Thacker needs warrants to hold them over 24 hours.
Well, they're not Thacker's responsibility, they're mine. They're suspected of robbing United States mail.
I told Behan that, but he had done already to turn them loose.
Is there anything we can do about that, Sheriff?
He's mighty slick, Morgan. I tried to get those warrants this morning, but Judge Spicer had already left for Tucson.
Why don't you let me slap Behan around? Just a little.
No. You, Mr. Gibbs, stay out of it. I'll have a little talk with Johnny Behan.
Sounds like Wyatt lost his temper.
Next time you release my prisoners, I'm going to give you a real thumping.
I can sue you for this.
Go on, sue me.
You can't keep people in jail for more than 24 hours without a warrant.
I know the law as well as you do. I know those were my prisoners. And according to my watch, they had another hour to go. You asking for more?
I'm the legally appointed sheriff, Herb, and I advise you to be careful.
Johnny, I'm going to be so careful that when I do get the goods on you, even your 10% ring is going to be through with you. Tell me something. How many letters do you think you're going to get in Yuma prison?
That's slander, Herb.
Oh, sue me. Please.
Just don't seem fair. Gunslingers is bad enough to deal with, but when the sheriff is paid by the Clantons and is sitting right here in your own jail. Now, you tell me why he's got to use our jail.
Because it's the only one we have. You know that as well as I do.
Well, it sure fidgets me.
Bean will stub his toes sooner or later.
Well, I hope it's sooner, because we can't hardly go on like this much longer.
Wyatt, somebody slugged Phillips and stole your horse.
Mr. Phillips, all right?
He's still unconscious. Dr. Goodfellow's working on him.
They didn't take Roscoe.
Nope. Wyatt, I said they stole your horse.
Yeah, I heard you. And there's no point chasing after him tonight. Everybody in Cochise County knows my horse. I'll hear about him.
He doesn't even care.
About Mr. Phillips, yes. About my horse, I'll get him back.
They'd took Roscoe, I'd darn sure be on the trail.
Look, I'll wake up Doc Holliday. The three of us will go after him.
No. Nobody's riding into an ambush at night. That's just what they're hoping for. You let Doc sleep, we'll do it my way. Get yourself some coffee, Morgan. Sit down.
Hiya, boys. You fellas want to see something? Take a look out the hitch rack, down at the far end.
What is that? Evening, Billy.
Mr. Ayers, give me a double whiskey. I'm celebrating.
Birthday?
Nah. Why would I celebrate being born? My mom's dead. My sister hates me. And the old man treats me like I was a 10-year-old. Oh, it's you. What's on your mind?
Billy, ain't that Wyatt Earp's horse out there?
You guess.
How did you get him?
Well, I just found him wandering around on the trail. Maybe Earp will offer a reward. Or maybe he'll come after that horse and accuse me of stealing him. Now, that's what I'd really like.
Billy, your old man ain't gonna like you taking Earp's horse.
What's it to you?
Whoa, Billy. You know the Clanton hands are supposed to keep an eye on you.
Nursing me?
I know how your old man feels. And if I were you, I'd think about it.
Well, you ain't me. Now, I got a good joke on Earp, and I aim to make it even better.
Your papa gives the orders, Billy.
Not this time.
Where are you going?
To Bisbee to sell a horse. Tell the old man that.
What do you think we better do, Mr. Ayers?
Not a thing. Let him get into some trouble. It'll be good for him.
How do you like that kid stealing?
Who is it? I said, who is it?
The Sayers.
You took an awful chance in coming here. You sure nobody saw you?
Positive. Billy Clanton's got your horse.
Billy? Why would he take my horse?
It's hard to figure, Wyatt. But he bragged around the roadhouse for a while, then he started for Tucson with him.
It's a clumsy way to pick a fight, but he sure got one. I'll ask Doc Holliday if I can borrow his sorrel. Mr. Ayers, I don't know what Wells Fargo or I would do without your undercover work.
Well, it's my kind of work, Wyatt. But are you taking after Billy alone?
No, it's my horse. That's a fool kid. I don't like the idea of turning out the vigilantes for him.
No, I guess not. But be careful. He's a sneak.
Wait a minute. Look, there's one other thing that you can do for me. Now, tomorrow...
Billy, take it easy.
Give me an even chance, Earp. Holster your gun and we'll shoot it out.
I don't fight with children. Throw down your gun. Left hand. Now back up. Go on, move. Hello, Candy. You all right?
I didn't hurt him none. Ain't his fault he's your horse.
Well, that's real smart thinking for a Clanton. Turn around. I said turn around. Put your hands behind him.
Oh, no, what's the idea, Earp? This was just a joke.
The people in this county don't think that stealing a man's horse is very funny. You know what your pa'd do if he caught a horse thief? He'd hang him.
You'd be scared to hang me.
Well, I got a much better idea. Start turning around.
Now listen, Earp, what are you gonna do? Earp, I'm thirsty.
You're going to be a lot thirstier by the time you walk all the way back to Tombstone.
My papa and my brothers will gun you for this.
Thank you for the use of your horse, Doc.
We'll make the pretty speeches later. Let's get young Clanton hanged.
What do you mean, hang?
Why, the rascal is a horse thief.
Either hang him now or have him shooting at us later.
Billy's the worst Clanton of the whole bunch.
Allow me to make one final plea to the deacon. Deacon, a Clanton steals your horse and you catch him red-handed. Don't you realize you gotta do something about it?
Billy's going to jail, that's enough.
You ride back to Tombstone. We'll handle things here.
You know, I really think you mean it.
With all the sincerity of my enlightened wickedness. Come over here, Wyatt. You know, I might run out of luck any time, but in this kind of a dirty fight, you need the devil's whisper. I ask you to listen to me.
Look, Doc, according to law, you can't hang anybody without a trial.
You suffer for it if you don't, or your brother Morgan, or Shotgun, or your brother Virgil when he comes to help.
Yeah, you or me.
That's right.
Well, I've got an idea that Billy is worth more to us alive than dead.
Preposterous.
No, you're wrong this time, Doc. You'll see.
It's all right. Cheers. Bad news, huh? I can tell by your face. Well, go on, spit it out.
Earp caught Billy with a stolen horse. It was Earp's own horse. By now, he should be in jail in Tombstone.
I was afeard of something like this. It sure was. Boy, this beat me.
Billy was bragging big about stealing the marshal's own horse. The town's mad.
Mob, you figure?
Earp can't trust his deputies to help stop it. I think you better go get Billy out of there.
I'll attend to it, and I'm much obliged to you, yes.
You're mighty welcome, Mr. Clanton.
Bring my horse. You held me up for 12 minutes.
I got here as soon as I could, Mr. Clanton.
Never mind, never mind. Billy in jail?
Yes, and Earp's getting a warrant out for him.
Warrant? Well, we won't pay no mind to that. Just turn the boy out.
I can't do that, Mr. Clanton.
Now, what's that mean?
I can't pull that again. I just let the McLowrys out. You're gonna have to wait 24 hours and have him released on bond.
24 hours? Why, Billy can't wait that long.
Mr. Clanton, I'd be playing right into Earp's hands, and so would you.
Shut up. Do like I tell you.
You don't seem to understand. I'd be kicked out of office. I tell you, Earp's just waiting for me.
Earp's always been waiting for you.
Will you listen to me just a minute? What good would I be to you if he nailed me on a malfeasance charge?
What's malfeasance?
Failure to perform the duties of my office, ignoring that warrant. That's a court order.
Well, now, you've done a heap sight worse things than that, being.
Sure, but Earp never caught me.
When I buy a man, I expect him to do what he's paid to do.
I always have, Mr. Clanton. But right now, we have to be practical.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get across. I want you to be practical and let Billy out of that jail by sundown. Them vigilantes are going to talk up a necktie party.
They're not going to hang him for stealing one horse.
His last name is Clanton. That's enough to get things started. I already been told about it. Now, I ain't wasting no more time in gabble. You know your job. You do it.
All right, maybe I can get away with it again. I'll think of something.
We can talk. Billy's sleeping like a baby.
All right. Now, I've called a town meeting at the Birdcage Saloon in an hour. Mr. Gibbs, you and Morgan go on patrol. Doc and I'll wait here at the jail. When the meeting starts, Doc and I'll leave. Sheriff Bean will think the coast is clear, but we all double back to these points around the jail. Any questions?
If Billy Clanton does try to escape, why don't we just shoot him and Bean during the excitement?
What a brain, Doc.
Yeah, we can make the killing of Bean look like an accident.
Why, sure. We'll put the blame on young Clanton. Our gallant sheriff dies trying to prevent the escape of Billy Clanton. I'll deliver the funeral oration myself.
All right. That's enough of that kind of talk. We're officers of the law, and we'll do it my way.
Oh, well. Come on, Morgan.
I want to talk to you. Excuse us for a minute, Doc.
All right, Gibbs. Looks like you and I have been cast into outer darkness.
Yeah.
I wish you'd quit agreeing with Doc.
Why? He's the best friend you ever had.
Yeah, but he's a sick man, and he's a bitter man. It warps his judgment. He hates Johnny Bean.
Well, what's wrong with that, don't you?
No. John Law can't afford to hate anybody to the point of murder in cold blood. People of Tombstone, Cochise County wouldn't tolerate murder, even in the name of the law. Now, go on.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what happened to me?
Billy Clanton stole out Earp's horse.
Well, what do you know?
Earp, there's a mob forming at the Birdcage. They're going to lynch Billy Clanton.
We couldn't be that lucky.
I knew this was going to happen. I knew it.
You must be imagining things, Sheriff. I haven't heard any talk about a lynching.
I tell you, they're going to do it, Earp. They won't listen to me, but you can stop them.
Did you talk to him?
What good would that do, the vigilantes?
All right, we'll take a look. But you stay here. I don't leave the jail unguarded. Come on, Doc.
Why not let them hang Clanton and Bean, too?
Lock that side door. Take my horse. Come on.
Okay.
Hold it, Billy. Mr. Gibbs. Morgan. Who's that? Get in there. Shotgun, put him in his cell.
I'm glad you caught him, Earp. He slugged me and got away.
I'm the one that's going to slug you, Johnny. I've been waiting for this a long time. I'm charging you with malfeasance in office.
You can't make it stick.
I can try. Morgan, put him in a nice, clean cell.
Morning, Sanders.
Is court open?
Not for 10 minutes yet. How you aiming to get Billy off?
I'm going to get both of them off.
Well, I don't care about being no more. Let him take his medicine.
My associates in Tucson won't allow that, Mr. Clanton.
Well, now, why are they so anxious about the sheriff?
We need him here in Tombstone.
Well, he does come in handy now and then.
Precisely, Mr. Clanton. And as long as we need him, we aim to keep him here.
Mr. Sanders, I believe you have a motion to offer in behalf of these defendants.
Yes, Your Honor. I ask a change of venue on the grounds that neither defendant could get a fair trial in this court.
Order! You claim prejudice, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
On what do you base your claim of prejudice?
If the court please, I should like to ask Marshal Wyatt Earp to take the stand.
Very well. Mr. Earp?
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Be seated.
Proceed, Mr. Sanders.
Marshal Earp, you have a reputation for being an honest man. I'd like you to tell the court just what you think of these defendants.
Well, I arrested them. Therefore, I have a low opinion of both.
And specifically, what do you think of Billy Clanton?
He stole my horse, that makes him a horse thief.
And Sheriff Bean?
He lied to me about a lynch mob so that he could turn Billy Clanton loose. In addition to the charge of malfeasance, I hope to prove during this trial that he's in the hire of Mr. Clanton.
Order! Any further disturbance, I'll clear this courtroom.
Marshal Earp, can you honestly say that either defendant would obtain a fair trial from a Tombstone jury?
If I didn't think so, I would have taken him to another court, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Marshal Earp. That'll be all. Court has heard Mr. Earp's testimony, but the court has also observed the attitude of the spectators. It's my opinion there are not 12 unprejudiced people in this entire town.
Mr. Sanders, you don't have to have a jury trial.
Your Honor, it's the defendant's right to demand a trial by jury, and we so do.
This court has no choice. The motion for a change of venue must be granted. This court is adjourned.
They'll both be tried in Tucson before a paid judge and jury. And they'll both walk out laughing. Is that what you call justice?
Doc, we won.
Won what in heaven's name?
The people are on to Johnny Bean's tie-up with the Clantons now. And that's what I've been after. Doc, do you realize that this is the biggest victory we've had yet?
Bean will still be sheriff, and the Clantons will still run things.
You heard him in the courtroom. Public opinion is on our side.
We need action.
And we'll get it. Public opinion is slow to move, sure. But it's deadlier than guns when the people really decide they want a clean Arizona.
Would the deacon like to lead me in prayer?
I pray for you. I pray for all of us.
We're sure gonna need it.
being transported there desperately risked their lives to escape, and when they did, territorial authorities hired Apache renegades to track them down. The Apaches, however, did not capture. They killed to collect the reward money. This state of affairs was brought forcibly to the attention of Marshal Wyatt Earp.
Take one more step.
Now, you mustn't shoot our sheriff, man.
This is Tom Grover's wife, Earp. I guess I should arrest her, but for old time's sake, I think I'll just forget it.
Oh, that's good of you, John Bean. You framed my husband, and now you have the nerve to talk of old times.
Oh, if you'll excuse me, I guess I better get back to court. I think the jury's going to come in.
Can I get you some water or something?
No, thank you. I've got to get back over there and be with Tom.
Mrs. Grover? Mind if I come along?
You can't help us now, Marshal Earp. I begged Tom to tell you about this whole rotten frame-up. But he said you were a federal officer and you couldn't do anything about a county matter.
Well, that's true. But I don't like frame-ups.
Mr. Grover, you will approach the bench. The jury has found you guilty. Mr. Grover, during the course of this trial, you have made various references to a frame-up. Now, the court would like to hear this evidence before sentence is passed.
Well, sir, in the first place, the prosecution's main witness, that old drifter, Pat Few, that whiskey sot was paid to come here and testify against me.
The court must have actual evidence, Mr. Grover. The jury believed Mr. Few. Unless you can prove your claim, his testimony must be accepted.
Tom, don't say anything more. They'll kill you.
Young woman, you will take a seat out there.
Mrs. Grover.
Mr. Grover, there are certain aspects of this trial with which the court is not completely satisfied. But in the absence of legal testimony supporting your charges, the court is helpless to intervene. The jury's verdict stands, and you are sentenced to 3 years in Yuma prison. Mr. Bean, remove the prisoner.
This court is adjourned.
Let's go, Grover. I'm sorry, Mrs. Grover.
Mrs. Grover. I've heard enough to think that you folks may be right. I'm going to have a talk with the judge, and then I'm going to see your husband.
Pat Few was driving Tom Grover's freight wagon from Contention City. Now, he testified that Grover ordered him to leave the freight wagon off the trail. That means that Tom was responsible when the wagon and its load of silver ore disappeared.
Well, Pat Few hasn't got the best of reputations, Your Honor.
I know, but the defense couldn't shake his story.
Did you know that Johnny Bean was personally involved in this?
Personally involved? What do you mean?
Well, Mrs. Grover was a dance hall girl and belonged to Bean. He and Tom Grover fell out when she chose Tom. I also seem to recall that Grover and he had some sort of a lawsuit in Prescott.
Grover didn't mention Bean during the trial.
Would you say anything against the sheriff if he had a good chance of going to Yuma prison?
I've tried not to believe the stories those convicts tell about that prison.
Well, they happen to be true. Matter of fact, a lot of prisoners never reach Yuma. Well, I've wondered what happened to them for a long time. Maybe this is my chance to find out.
Hold on, Earp. I hope you don't take too much stock in what Beth Grover says.
No, not necessarily.
Well, I warned her not to marry that hot-headed fool. Ran his freight business right into the ground. Finally got down to one wagon, so he had to steal. Just simple as that.
Well, I have no jurisdiction in ore theft, Johnny. It's your case.
I tried to have Ben investigated at Prescott to expose his connection with the 10% ring. I even appealed to the governor. Well, I'm sure it got back to the ring in Tucson, and they ordered Ben to frame me.
Well, that ties it up, Mr. Grover. Look, I don't want Bean to catch me talking to you. I'll send a very important message to you by your wife.
No, Marshal. Thanks for anything you can do.
Who is it?
Wyatt Earp.
Thank you.
You saw the judge, Tom?
Yes. There's nothing the judge can do unless there's legal evidence. But there's a lot your husband can do.
Leg irons with an armed guard. I've heard how they let prisoners escape and then pay renegade Indians to track them down and kill them.
Well, everybody has heard those stories, Mrs. Grover. But we have to try and prove it.
How?
A prison wagon will be here tonight to take Mr. Grover and 2 other prisoners through the desert to Benson. They'll be put on a train there for the trip to Yuma Prison. I'll be following that wagon.
Following the wagon is one thing. How will that help Tom?
Sheriff Bean will let you talk to your husband before he leaves. You warn him not to try to escape. You understand? It's very important that he stay with the wagon.
I think I see. But shouldn't you take a posse or at least a couple of deputies?
No, they won't bother him on the desert as long as he doesn't try to escape. They'll have to wait until they get him to Yuma Prison. Now remember, it's very important that he doesn't try to escape.
Ready for you, Sheriff. How many this time?
3.
3 hobbles, Dugan.
All right. All right, better watch this one. He doesn't think he should go to Yuma.
Oh, Yuma ain't so bad.
Hey, Bucko, I heard preachers tell about a worse place.
It's an old joke, Dugan, but it still tickles me.
You know, Grover, it's too bad Beth couldn't be here to say goodbye to you, but don't you worry. I'll take real good care of her.
All right, hold it. Easy, Sheriff. You can't shoot a prisoner.
Well, at least not in front of your own jail.
Dugan, you're a card.
Get those 2 in the wagon. Get the leg irons on. Move up. And keep your eye on this one. He'll escape the first chance he gets.
Don't worry about him, Sheriff. Take him away.
All right, move.
Trip to Yuma?
Say so?
I said, is this your first trip to Yuma?
Yeah.
Me and Baxter already been there once.
Yeah, and we ain't going back.
Not so loud, Baxter.
I want him to hear it. Hey, guard. Guard! Shut up in there. You make me. We ain't going back to Yuma. Shut up, you fool. We ain't going back, you hear me? We ain't going back to that hole. We ain't gonna go back. No, we ain't. Baxter, we ought to take him back just out of cussedness.
Yep. But we got orders.
They still think they can beat the desert and the Apaches?
Well, it's better than dying in solitary with your ribs kicked in. That's the way I feel about it, Bucko. When we let him escape, we're doing a good deed. Yeah, a good deed.
Oh, thanks, friendo. You shook me out of a bad dream. It was in that rock quarry and humor, and 5 guards was... What was they hit me with?
Keep your voice down.
What's bothering you?
I don't want you and Baxter to try to escape.
You've been hearing some of those ghost stories.
How's the truth, Woody?
Ah, just talk spread around humor to scare the convicts.
What is it? Will we stop it?
I don't know.
I'd cut out the talking and wiggle out of that wagon.
What for?
Because Dugan and me want to eat and take a nap. Get over there. Don't get any ideas about running off now.
Just take a good look at that desert.
15 miles to water in any direction. Sun up's at 5:30. Heat comes to 120 degrees in an hour. And the sun will fry your brains out. And the Apache's tracking you will tear the top of your head off along with your scalp. So, that's about all there is to it. Now, drink all you want out of the water hole, but there ain't nothing for you to eat.
All right, come on, Bucko, I'm hungry. Quit fretting about them escaping. They got sense.
And don't get any ideas about grabbing the canteens or the horses either.
All right, go ahead, get your water.
He's asleep. I'll get the horses, huh?
Forget the horses. Drink all the water you can.
Don't you understand? They want us to escape. Come with us to stay. We don't care. Look, I hate to see you turn yourselves into buzzard bait. You ain't coming? Nah, he thinks he's gonna like it in humor. Come on, let's go. Out of the way. I've got something else to tell you. That John Law friend of mine is on his way here to help us.
Yeah, sure.
All right, take off.
Hey, Bucko, look at this. The others ran away, but he stayed.
What's the idea, Grover?
I don't want to be murdered by your Apaches.
He's got to be took care of.
He's the one the boss wants took care of in particular.
Why don't you give me a gun? Then you can say I tried to escape.
Too risky.
Start running.
No.
Guess I'll have to plug him in the side. That'll be good enough.
Yeah.
Lift him.
Take their gun.
Any sign of Apaches? I guess they're tracking Baxter and Moody. They ran off.
Ain't got no right shooting a prison guard.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're officers of the law, same as you.
Just one small difference. I don't go around shooting prisoners.
Mr. Earp, if we hurried, we might be able to save Baxter and Moody.
I'll let them roam around out there for a while. The Apaches don't start tracking until after they talk to the guards.
You mean they're coming here?
That's right. You any good with the rifles?
Fair.
When they do get here, you aim at their legs. I want those Indians alive. Patch up that prison guard and put them in irons. Throw him down.
Well, Mr. Earp, I guess I'll reach Yuma prison alive.
No, I sort of promised your wife you wouldn't go there.
The what? I don't understand. You don't have any jurisdiction in my case.
I do now. Those Indians are wards of the federal government. United States Deputy Marshal, I can now investigate the plan to murder you.
But will they talk?
Maybe. Maybe not. But Pat Few may decide to tell Judge Spicer why he perjured himself.
Now, why would he do that?
Mr. Grover, I want you to drive that wagon to Bubble and Squeak. You know where it is?
Yeah, the big spring at the base of Mustang Mountain Trail.
That's right. You wait there in the shade for me. Here, pin this on. I'm deputizing you. You have any idea where I can find that real good friend of yours, Pat Few?
Well, he drives the freight wagon for Arizona Transport. That's Behan's company, you know.
No, I didn't know. Behan's got his hand in everything, hasn't he? Well, I'll bring Pat. See you there by dark.
Well, Marshal, whatever happens with Pat Few is fine with me. But I still don't think we should leave Baxter and Moody out there. Perhaps they deserve to die, but not that way.
Well, Pat and I'll track him. I'll see you at Bubble and Squeak. This is the Arizona Transport Company, isn't it?
Yeah?
I'm looking for one of your drivers, a fellow by the name of Pat Few.
Well, what do you want with Pat?
Well, Tom Grover, the man that he testified against last week in Tombstone, escaped. Sheriff Behan sent me to warn Mr. Few and to guard him.
Oh, Grover escaped, did he?
That's right.
That's bad. That's awful bad. You think he'll be after old Pat?
Might be. Know where I can find him?
Well, you're lucky. He's about 15 minutes down the trail towards Contention City.
Fine. Thank you very much. Much obliged. You're coming with me, Mr. Few.
Well, what have I done? You can't arrest me, Earp.
You're going to be my witness in a federal case. Now get down and unhitch one of those horses and climb aboard.
Well, all right.
No water. You make the rest of the trek on foot.
You think I'm going out there in that desert with Grover and two escaped convicts out there?
You let the horses drink, not you. Bring your animal up here.
Come on, Candy.
Hold on. I can rest a minute. Come on.
You can't do that. Here. Take a look over there. You see that? Huh?
Nothing but sand.
It's a sandstorm. Come on, we gotta try and make those rocks move. Come on.
Don't leave me. I'll make it right. I'll tell the judge. Come back! I didn't mean to lie. So help me, I didn't. They said they'd kill me. I'll tell the judge.
Pat Few has confessed to perjury and been sentenced to 9 months in jail. Mr. Grover, you are a free man. Order in the court. Now, the court must advise you to use every precaution to avoid repetition of this kind of thing.
They'll try to frame me again, sir, so we've decided to leave Arizona.
We're going back to Nebraska, Your Honor.
I see. This court is adjourned.
Once again, Marshal, our sincerest thanks.
Too bad Mr. Few wouldn't admit to being paid for perjuring himself.
He'd been killed if he did.
I suppose he would. It's a sad state of affairs. How are you going to make out with the Indians and those 2 guards?
Well, I'm taking them to the federal court, Benson. They're going to try and lie out of it, of course, but I think I can persuade the governor to investigate that warden in Yuma, put a stop to the use of Indian trackers. I'm convinced that they let the prisoners escape, so the Indian trackers could kill them, and the guards would split the reward money with them.
It's rather discouraging, isn't it?
Well, the law moves slowly, Judge. You know that.
An inch one day, 2 the next.
Just as long as we keep it moving.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Oh, Wyatt Earp!